65-pounders. Chris Byrd, one of the battling Byrds from Flint, Michigan, for the United States against Dmitri Vilornov, 21 years of age, from the Soviet Union. This is Vilornov, who began boxing in 1982. He represents the Samar Boxing Club of the Soviet Union. And Chris Byrd, one of 5 Byrd brothers who boxed in the amateur ranks or professionally. And Chris Byrd's father, Joe Byrd, will be the coach of the 1992 U.S. Olympic team in Barcelona. Chris talked about the kind of fatherly advice he gets from Dad.
Well, stay on offense more, because I've been working on a lot of defense. That's my, I just moved up to 165 this year, and I fight a lot of bigger guys. So I had to use all my skills, mainly defense. Now I'm filling into the weight more, so I use more offense. That's what you tell me all the time. Just be more on the offensive side.
The battling Byrd family, Chris Byrd, if you haven't seen him before, 6'1", 21 years old. He's been boxing since he could just about walk. He's a defensive boxer, and one of the things he needs to work on is to sit down on his punches, be more of an offensive boxer. He's been at 165 pounds less than a year in this weight class, and he's working himself into it.
Joe Villa of the United States is the referee for this bout. 5 judges scoring it. Remember, in amateur boxing, 3 3-minute rounds, a 1-minute rest period in between. The winner of each round receives 20 points, the loser a lesser number. Major reason that Byrd has 16 years of experience is that the family has a ring in their basement. That's also one of the reasons he's a good defensive boxer, because the ring ropes are very close to the wall, and the Byrd brothers learned to box off the ropes, which is very unusual for an amateur boxer.
Yeah, and not necessarily an advantage, Mel. It can be an advantage. He has made it his advantage, but he needs, as I say, to work offensively.
I think one of the things the United States boxers learned in the World Championships in Australia is that they've got to get started quickly, because if they fall behind in the first round, it's been difficult for them to catch up.
And that's because of the European style of boxing. It's a much more closed style. You can see it here with the Soviet boxer. They're very defensive, and if they get ahead, they prevent points from being scored. The point area, of course, the head, the chest, the stomach.
Byrd finally throwing some punches, and a caution to the Soviet Vilornov for holding. But it appears that it's taking Byrd a while to figure out the Soviets' approach and style. He's got rather unorthodox technique.
Chris Byrd will tell you he is a slow starter. He'll tell you himself. In fact, his teammates will tell you, though, that he is probably the best amateur boxer of the entire group of American boxers on the team. He has the best skills for scoring points.
Chris was the 1991 U.S. champion at 165 pounds. He also won the U.S. championship in 1989 at 156 pounds. Another caution to the Soviet for holding or pushing down behind the head. 3 cautions result in a warning. 3 warnings for the same foul can result in the boxer being disqualified. Less than a minute remaining in round 1.
Chris Byrd clearly the aggressor, and that is unusual for him. He's the aggressor in this bout. He's forcing the Soviet boxer to move backwards.
And the Soviet coach, Konstantin Kopsev, was just cautioned for coaching verbally from the corner, something you cannot do, but something which he seems to do every time we see him.
That straight left to Chris Byrd is getting through.
Byrd perhaps finally figuring out the Soviet style. And a point being taken away from the Soviet Vilornov for the same foul, holding behind the head. The 3rd time he was warned in that round.
One of the things that Chris Byrd does so well is move backwards and throw while he's moving backwards. And that's probably why the Soviet boxer is holding him behind the head to prevent him from moving back.
Byrd started slowly, but has come on strong in round 1.